Welcome to the League of Legends Champions Spotlight, featuring Evelynn, the Widowmaker. Evelynn is a melee assassin who can dart into battles and kill single foes, or go toe-to-toe in larger fights. Able to jungle or lane as a fighter, Evelynn employs stealth and maneuverability to dismantle the competition. Evelynn's passive is Shadow Walk. As long as Evelynn is not recently dealt damage, received damage, or activated an ability, Evelynn is stealthed. While stealthed, she rapidly regenerates her mana and is undetectable unless she gets revealed by an enemy turret, vision ward, or champion. Evelynn can skirt on the edges of a champion's vision range, stalking them while undetected. Hate Spike fires out a line of damaging spikes that prefers to target Evelynn's most recently attacked foe. As her main damage tool, take Hate Spike at level 1 and max it immediately. Dark Frenzy passively grants Evelynn stacking bonus movement speed up to a cap whenever she hits an enemy champion with one of her abilities. When activated, Dark Frenzy purges all slows from Evelynn and grants her even more bonus movement speed. Dark Frenzy's cooldown is reset whenever Evelynn kills or assists in the kill of an enemy champion. Definitely take a point in Dark Frenzy at level 4 or earlier, but max it last by level 18. Ravage strikes target enemy twice, dealing damage and granting Evelynn bonus attack speed. To further increase her damage, take a point in Ravage early and max it by level 13. Evelynn's ultimate is Agony's Embrace. Agony's Embrace hits all enemies in an area, damaging based on maximum health, and slowing for a few seconds. Evelynn also gains a shield that gets more powerful for every champion hit. When jungling as Evelynn, you'll want to start the game out aggressively, picking up either the Ancient Golem or Elder Lizard with Hate Spike and ganking immediately. Wait out of sight for Shadow Walk to kick in. Once invisible, make your way around your opponent and signal your team. Once they're ready, dive in with Dark Frenzy and use Exhaust to slow your opponent while damaging with Hate Spike. Dark Frenzy's passive lets Evelynn keep pace for first blood. Once Twitch falls, Dark Frenzy is refreshed and Evelynn makes her way out alive. When jungling as Evelynn, use Dark Frenzy to get between camps, and position yourself such that Hate Spike hits as many monsters as possible. The golems are easy to kill as Evelynn focuses the larger one while moving so that Hate Spike hits both. Once your opponents buy wards, it's important you let Shadow Walk kick in well before you get near a lane. Notice how Evelynn can walk right past the enemy sight ward undetected. Evelynn signals her team and then opens on Twitch with Dark Frenzy and Exhaust, picking up an easy kill with Ravage and Hate Spike before returning to the jungle with Dark Frenzy. While Evelynn can't always stop her foes from running, she's exceptional at chasing them. Evelynn happens across Skarner in the jungle, opening with Ravage and Hate Spike, then activating Dark Frenzy as Skarner tries to flash away. The passive movement bonus from Dark Frenzy allows Evelynn an easy kill before Skarner can reach his turret. Remember that your opponents can see you enter their jungle if Shadow Walk hasn't activated yet. Here, Evelynn runs right past a sight ward in full view due to her impatience. Though she drops her own ward to offer early warning and kills the Ancient Golem quickly, the other team is already poised to collapse on it. Soraka and Skarner arrive, pull Evelynn back with Impale, and manage to delay long enough for Orianna to close in for the kill. As long as you can get away with it, stealing monsters from your opponents or counter-jungling is a great way to build an advantage over your enemy. To do this most effectively, kill the largest monster in the camp first, and make sure to leave just one of the smaller monsters alive. This way, your opponents get almost no gold from them. Evelynn should focus on singling out important targets. Noticing Orianna toss the ball out from behind the trees, Evelynn turns to chase her down. Dark Frenzy and Agony's Embrace open the fight, while Hate Spike and Ravage keep Dark Frenzy's passive stacked. Because Hate Spike will ready the bonus damage from Trinity Force, constantly try to land basic attacks to kill your opponents quickly. As soon as Orianna falls, Dark Frenzy gets Evelynn back with her team, ready to start another fight. The best way to handle team fights is to find stranded enemies and come in from behind. In the aftermath of a battle, Evelynn's team is forced to run, but she waits off on the side for Shadow Walk to activate. Once she comes around behind the enemy team, she keeps Varus in range without being detected. Biding her time, she waits for Soraka and Skarner to move away as Varus retreats. Immediately, Evelyn opens with Ravage and Hate Spike, dealing tons of damage to Varus and taking him down. Immediately after, Dark Frenzy lets Evelyn regroup with her team, landing Agony's Embrace on Skarner and Soraka, taking them down and saving her teammate Twitch. I recommend building Evelyn with damage, toughness, and mobility in mind, and specifically as a jungler on Summoner's Rift. Consider flat attack damage marks, flat armor seals, magic resist per level glyphs, and movement speed quintessences. Try 14-16-0 masteries, getting both armor and magic penetration in offense, plus minion damage reduction, health, and movement speed in defense. For summoner spells, take Smite when jungling, Exhaust for ganks, Ignite for damage output, or Flash for safety. Open with Boots of Speed, Health Potions, and grab Prospector's Blade in Dominion or Wriggle's Lantern in Classic. Take Sheen and upgraded boots as quickly as possible, then upgrade to Trinity Force. From here, you should assess the game. Wit's End, Maw of Malmortius, Randuin's Omen, and Guardian Angel will provide a mix of damage and toughness if you need the added survivability. To focus on assassination, consider Deathfire Grasp, Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster or Sanguine Blade, and Last Whisper. Thanks for tuning in to the Evelyn Champion Spotlight. Please subscribe to the Riot Games YouTube channel above and leave us your comments just below the video. Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring Urgot, the Headsman's Pride. Urgot is an interesting champion, who starts out dealing crazy damage and controlling his lane, before settling into a tank and assassin type role, relying on his ultimate and his team to kill important enemy targets. Urgot's passive is Zon-Touched Bolt Augmenter. His basic attacks and first ability reduce his target's damage for a short time. First is Acid Hunter. He fires a simple physical damage missile to the target location and applies his passive. Terror Capacitor is second. Urgot places a shield on himself, which absorbs damage. Until it breaks or times out, his basic attacks and his Acid Hunter slow the targets he hits. While the slow is short, it can stack upon itself. Third, Urgot may cast Noxian Corrosive Charge. This is an area of effect nuke which deals damage over time, lowers armor, and most importantly allows Acid Hunter to lock onto the target. Now, if you cast Acid Hunter with your cursor over the target, it will always hit. Urgot's ultimate is the Hyperkinetic Position Reverser. He stuns his target and channels for a second, swapping positions with the target and slowing him, while Urgot briefly gains armor and magic resist. My runes are standard for physical range DPS champions. Armor penetration marks and quintessences, mana regeneration per level seals, and flat cooldown reduction glyphs. My masteries are 11-0-19. I take ability power, critical chance, cooldowns, and armor penetration in offense, while going all the way down for cooldown reduction and utility as well, making sure to take increased mana regeneration along the way. I take Ghost and Flash for summoner spells, which allow me to use my ultimate more easily. I start with a Doran's Ring and Health Potion. The mana regeneration and very high ability power ratios on Terror Capacitor and Corrosive Charge make it a great choice. Right at level 2, I use Corrosive Charge into Acid Hunter for great damage. Early in the game, my damage output is immense with my armor penetration stack. Even though I miss my first 2 spell casts and get stunned by Kennen, I'm able to absorb some of the damage with Terror Capacitor and drop him off quickly with Acid Hunter. At level 8, I've got level 4 Acid Hunter with 2 in Corrosive Charge. I'm still able to harass Kennen extremely well. Once he gets back into range, I cast my ultimate, making Corrosive Charge extremely easy to land, giving me another kill. With my Brutalizer and Mercury Treads, I head top to kill Galio. I swap him into Nasus with my Position Reverser, while my shield and armor buff tank the turret. Because of Mercury Treads, I'm able to flash out of his ultimate, while I continue dealing damage with Corrosive Charge and Acid Hunter. Back in mid, I use Position Reverser on Kennen just to slow him down for my spells and to beef myself up in front of the turret. As he drops, I meet up with a Mumu to fight Garen and Galio. Corrosive Charge and Acid Hunter help kill Garen. Terra Capacitor holds up long enough to tank Idol of Durand, and then I make short work of Galio. As we start a team fight in mid, I have one purpose: swap Ezreal into my team. I run up to him with Ghost and use Position Reverser. I pummel him with Corrosive Charge and Acid Hunter while slowing him with Terra Capacitor and Phage. The rest of the fight is a cakewalk with their carries dead, and we score an ace. Again, we group up for battle in mid. I finished Frozen Mallet now, which makes pinning targets a breeze. I spam on Garen with Corrosive Charge and Acid Hunter, but again my main goal is to flash towards Ezreal to get him into range for swapping him. Finally, I want to talk about teamfight positioning. Notice that I walk myself behind Nasus and Gragas, and then aim specifically for Kennen. Once he drops, I repeatedly slow Garen, and finally cast my ultimate on him just to stun him for my team. As Galio channels Idol of Durand, I escape the area with Mercury Treads, and then pick him off as well. Basically, I make sure I'm never able to be killed, while I'm always in range to repeatedly throw all my spells. Thanks for tuning in to the Urgot Champion Spotlight. I don't have a clever introduction this time. I just want you to bear witness to Urgot's awesomeness.
Fear? No, I am the Mind Killer.
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring Galio, the Sentinel's Sorrow. Galio is primarily a tank, with a few splashes of burst magic damage and support. His passive, Runic Skin, converts his magic resist into ability power, meaning that as he becomes more resilient against spells, he increases the power of his own. Galio's first skill is Resolute Smite. He casts a projectile to a target area, damaging and slowing enemies. Second comes Bulwark. This is Galio's primary support skill, increasing his or an ally's armor and magic resist significantly. Additionally, any time that target is struck by a champion, Galio is healed. Righteous Gust is Galio's third skill. He deals damage to enemies in a line, and sets up a directional wind tunnel. Allies running in the same direction of your cast will run faster while inside it. Galio's ultimate is Idol of Durand. He channels a taunt while taking reduced damage. At the end of the taunt, he deals bonus damage, based on how many times he was hit while channeling. There are a few sets of runes you can use. Magic Penetration Marks and Flat Health Quintessences are definitely best, but Mana Regeneration per level or Health per level work for seals, and cooldown reduction or magic resist are great for glyphs. Try to stay away from dodge as a stat. It might make your ultimate weaker. My masteries are 9-21-0. I take Magic Penetration and Cripple in offense, taking all the relevant non-dodge defense masteries as well. My summoner spells are Exhaust and Ghost, allowing me to catch up to and slow enemies for my teammates. My first item is Chalice of Harmony. The mana allows me to spam more, and the magic resist feeds me ability power. For my first kill, I lead Malzahar with Resolute Smite. Combined with Righteous Gust, Karthus is able to easily camp on top of Malzahar to kill him. I run across Zilean and some friends in their jungle. Using Resolute Smite and Righteous Gust, I'm able to keep pace with him despite being assaulted by Udyr. As I channel Idol of Durand, Malzahar makes the mistake of walking into the radius. He is immediately taunted, and I get a double kill. As our Karthus gets assaulted, I walk up to him so I may speed him up with Righteous Gust, while I slow the enemy Udyr with Resolute Smite. Remember that you have to cast Righteous Gust in the direction you want to run, so you might have to get near your teammates first. By level 9, I've maxed Resolute Smite and have 2 points in Bulwark. I try to use Bulwark as I cast my other spells, since the bonus magic resist gives me increased damage. As I spam into the crowd, my enemies get nervous and assault me. The mere threat of my ultimate is enough to force enemies to stun me, so always wait a little while to cast it. Malzahar and Zilean are killed soon after Idol of Durand ends, as I run away low on health. Noting that Mordekaiser has no way of killing me now, I re-engage to keep him entertained in the fight, giving us another kill. In the enemy jungle, I pull a lot of attention. I send out Righteous Gust right before I get stunned, letting me run away very quickly. After soaking up Malzahar's and Mordekaiser's ultimate, I toss Resolute Smite onto Zilean as I leave. I put Bulwark on myself in time to tank Zilean's Time Bomb and the last of Mordekaiser's ultimate, while Pantheon picks up a few kills on the cooldownless enemies. I max Bulwark after Resolute Smite. Not only does the armor and magic resist provide me or a teammate with exceptional durability, but I gain tons of ability power when I activate the spell. The duration is long enough that I can use the temporary buff to affect the damage of all 3 of my other spells. My next big items are Aegis of the Legion and Mercury Treads, both because they give great magic resist, but also to support my team and allow me to break off stuns to start my ultimate sooner. Near my tower, I face Zilean and Malzahar. Once Time Bomb and Malefic Visions are placed on me, I self-cast Bulwark just in time for Nether Grasp. Ultimately, I only lose 300 health. Landing Resolute Smite and Righteous Gust brings Zilean extremely low, causing him to use his ultimate as my team catches up. Once Pantheon begins Heartseeker Strike on Malzahar, I use my improved Exhaust to give him an easier kill. After the Aegis and Mercury Treads, my next big items would be Banshee's Veil and Guardian Angel. Banshee's Veil helps me get my ultimate off, while Guardian Angel helps me balance out my resists and is just overall a phenomenal tank item. Thanks for tuning in to the Galio Champion Spotlight. Spread your wings with Galio, because
justice will be done.
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring
Yorick the Gravedigger.
Yorick is a melee damage dealer who summons minions to do his bidding. Omen of War causes Yorick's next attack to deal bonus damage and summons a Spectral Ghoul, which moves quickly and deals bonus damage. While the Spectral Ghoul is out, Yorick moves faster. Omen of Pestilence damages and slows enemies in an area and summons a Decaying Ghoul, which will continue to slow enemies around it. Omen of Famine damages target enemy, heals Yorick for a percentage of that damage, and summons a Ravenous Ghoul, which heals Yorick for the damage it deals. Omen of Death creates a clone of target allied champion for a few seconds. If the ally dies while the clone is alive, the clone sacrifices itself to temporarily reanimate the ally. Yorick's passive is Unholy Covenant. Yorick deals bonus damage on his attacks for each ghoul active. Additionally, all of Yorick's ghouls scale off of his own health and damage. I coordinate a gank up top with my teammate Blitzcrank. I create a clone with Omen of Death. I slow the enemy Yorick with Omen of Pestilence, and once he gets into range, I deal a ton of damage with Omen of War and Omen of Famine. Unfortunately, Blitzcrank stays in range of the turret too long and gives away a kill. I get jumped by LeBlanc while low on health. Unfortunately, I die, but thanks to Omen of Death, I have full control of my abilities when I respawn, so I get revenge before timing out. We catch 2 of our opponents in the upper jungle. I catch LeBlanc with Omen of Pestilence, and she dies to Nidalee's Javelin Toss. Later on, we turret dive onto Vayne. My burst damage from Omen of Pestilence and Omen of Famine get us the kill underneath the turret. In a 2 vs 4 at bottom lane, we catch Fiddlesticks. My damage output from 3 Omens and Trinity Force crushes his health. We retreat as the fight wears on, waiting for our teammates.
Once they're occupied, I summon more ghouls, which crushes the health of everyone else in that fight. I flash over the wall to catch Garen, picking up my second kill. I then turn back onto Yorick and kill him with Omen of Pestilence. We get into a team fight in mid. Immediately I throw all my omens out, having my ghouls do a ton of damage for me. Even though I get pushed out of the fight a couple of times, my ranged omens, Pestilence and Famine, allow me to keep putting out damage even though I'm pushed away. Specifically, Omen of Famine gives me enough health to walk back into the fight in the end. Ultimately, we pick up a ton of kills and win the fight. We catch another team fight in mid, and again I spam my ghouls out, dealing tons of damage to Garen and the rest of the team, getting a kill immediately on Yorick and Vayne. Garen gets swarmed by my ghouls, and as Fiddlesticks shows up late, I instantly burst him down. To clean up the fight, we try to chase down onto the enemy with Long. As we chase her down, I finally land Omen of Pestilence, allowing my team to catch up and pick up the kill. Inside their base, we fight a long drawn-out battle underneath their turrets. Ultimately, my ghoul spam allows us to kill Garen. I pick up the turret with my spam of ghouls, which make Yorick a great pushing champion. For runes, I take armor penetration marks, flat armor seals, flat magic resist glyphs, and armor penetration quintessences. These runes help me fight exceptionally well at early levels. My masteries are 11, 0, 19, rushing for armor penetration and otherwise taking basic utility masteries, with Ignite and Flash. I max Omen of Pestilence right away, taking 2 and Omen of Famine to keep me healthy, and otherwise maxing Omen of War. For items, I open with a Regrowth Pendant and Health Potion. I grab Philosopher's Stone and Mercury Treads early, grabbing a fast Trinity Force and fleshing out my durability and damage with Force of Nature, Yomu's Ghost Blade, Randuin's Omen, and Last Whisper. Thanks for tuning in to the Yorick Champion Spotlight. Please subscribe to the Riot Games YouTube channel up top and leave us some comments down below. Whoa, wait. Yorick, where are you going?
There is only one destination.
Okay, where is that? Yorick? Hello?
Welcome to the Heimerdinger Champion Spotlight, presented by Riot Games. Heimerdinger, the revered inventor, is one of the most unique champions in League of Legends. Assuming you rely on your H28G evolution turrets, you'll have an interesting map control metagame. Successful execution is extremely rewarding and can result in some really amazing moves. I use standard offensive-minded masteries and runes. Magic penetration, mana regeneration per level, flat cooldown reduction, and the always popular flat health quintessences. My masteries are 9-0-21, rushing the magic penetration mastery in offense, and taking standard utility masteries, regeneration, cooldown reduction, and improved ghost and flash. Because your opponents will always try to kill you first, and as one of the frailest champions in the game, Heimerdinger needs the escape mechanisms. This is why you take Ghost and Flash, and also why you want to buy Zhonya's Ring as soon as possible. I start out with Amplifying Tome and a Health Potion. The ability power will help your turrets get killing blows on minions, and it turns into Cage's lucky pick. Always place your turrets behind the friendly melee minions. This placement will help keep them safe against champions like Ezreal. You want to be sure to help your turrets get the last hit on minions. Engage how quickly the minions are dying, and last hit them with your 60 base damage. The Golem is another important objective for Heimerdinger. Set down a turret, and use Hextech micro rockets and the grenade to clear away the monsters. You can even choose to push with your team just by being level 9 and having Golem, often winning the game outright. Also, Heimerdinger can solo the dragon. Once you hit level 9, set up a couple turrets right outside the cave. Then, pull him into range using rockets and your various spells to down him quickly while taking very little damage. As Heimerdinger, you have to play very cautiously. Over half your damage output is in your turrets, and since it takes over 18 seconds, even at max cooldown reduction, to place all 3 of them, you have to plan ahead. Because of this limitation, Heimerdinger is best played as a pushing champion, working with the rest of your team. Your best option is to create a base of operations, which is why some people call Heimerdinger the club owner. You should always think of yourself as frail and needing the protection of your turrets, or bouncers. Let's look at the first easiest use of Zhonya's ring, delaying or preventing death. I actually make a huge mistake here, because I activate the item extremely late, with below 100 health left, meaning that I die to Tormented Soil. Thankfully my team picks up the 2 kills without me, but I should not have died here. A large fight breaks out in mid. I put out as much damage as I can, with Deathfire Grasp dropping Blitzcrank very low. As I get assaulted by Alistar, I use Zhonya's ring to block 2 damage ticks from Ignite. Because I'm durable enough to stay in the fight, I manage to help pick off Morgana. Notice that I still keep a pretty defensive position throughout the fight, even though I have Ghost and Flash. Lastly, we chase Veigar as he flashes away. I use Concussion Grenade to reveal him, allowing me to cast Hextech Micro Rockets, which gives Olaf the kill and me an assist. I head top to gank Morgana and Blitzcrank. I hit them with all my abilities, including Deathfire Grasp onto Morgana. I tap Zhonya's ring to block the damage and stun from Morgana's ultimate. As she gets away, I flash to get into range and kill her with a turret. But I should have cast before the grenade as well, so casting it early was a huge mistake. If she had cast Black Shield earlier, I wouldn't have gotten the kill, as Heimerdinger's turrets deal magic damage. The fight winds down a bit, and Ezreal's forced to retreat past my turrets. Additionally, because they've revealed his location, Malphite hits him with unstoppable force. Then I'm also able to cast Upgrade, to slow Alistar as he walks by. It is always worthwhile to lay down turrets and get out safely, because you never know when your turrets will get kills for you. As we fight in their base, I see Alistar is available to kill. Because you can't always rely on your turrets or rockets to hit the targets you want, you need to learn how to lead your enemies with Concussion Grenade. Here I expect him to walk towards the fountain. As it turns out, I've also led him enough to still hit after he flashes. One last tip on Concussion Grenade. If you know you'll be safe, you can walk right up to your target, making it a very easy shot to land on Ezreal. Thanks for tuning in to the Heimerdinger Champion Spotlight. Get out there and make a name
for great science!
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring Gangplank, the Saltwater Scourge. Gangplank is a hybrid melee and ranged physical damage dealer. His main strengths are great mobility, high damage output, and an ultimate that can be cast anywhere on the map. Gangplank's passive is Grog-Soaked Blade. Every attack that Gangplank makes places a stack of Grog-Soaked Blade on his target, up to a cap. Each stack damages and slows the movement of whoever's been struck. Parley shoots target enemy with Gangplank's pistol, dealing damage. This shot applies on-hit effects such as Sheen, Lifesteal, and Grog-Soaked Blade. Parley can also critically strike his targets. Additionally, if Parley kills its target, Gangplank is awarded bonus gold. I take Parley at level 1 and max it last. Remove Scurvy causes Gangplank to eat a bunch of oranges, healing Gangplank and removing all crowd control effects, such as slows and stuns that afflict him. Raise Morale passively gives Gangplank increased attack damage and movement speed. When activated, Gangplank gains an even larger bonus to these stats, and grants a smaller bonus to nearby allied champions as well. I take Raise Morale at level 2 and max it by level 9. Cannon Barrage marks an area on the map for a few seconds, slowing all enemies in the area and causing cannonballs to fall randomly in the area, damaging anything they strike. Cannon Barrage can be cast anywhere in the game, regardless of how close it is to Gangplank. With a Rune and Mastery build focused on early damage output and durability, you can easily push around most lane opponents. Once Scion blows his stun, I push in with Parley and activate Raise Morale for bonus movement speed and damage. Because of Grog-Soaked Blade's slow, I'm able to keep up with him as I take down his health bar and force him to recall, giving me free space to farm. Because Parlay gives you bonus gold whenever it kills a unit, you want to use it to farm minions whenever you can. In particular, you want to find out exactly how much damage Parlay will deal to ensure you get the kill. However, because of its cooldown, you will have to kill minions with basic attacks sometimes. The better you can predict your cooldown against minion deaths, the better your gold income. Always remember that Parlay can deal critical strikes. This means that occasionally, Gangplank can get extremely lucky. Volibear dives me with exhaust. I run until it times out, then turn for a Parlay and a basic attack. My 4% critical chance for masteries triggers on both, and I get a completely free kill. When building mostly for damage, don't rely on Remove Scurvy to keep you alive in a team fight. Scion comes in to stun me and the rest of his team follows up. I remove Scurvy, use Cannon Barrage, and try to run, but now I can't escape the exhaust or Volibear's Rolling Thunder. While my team is able to pick up a few kills from behind, I die before really helping out my team much. Instead, use a couple of tricks to keep you safer. With Cannon Barrage and Summoner Teleport, you can push a side lane and still show up to the battle without missing a beat. As I watch the battle unfold, I look to kill the squishiest targets possible. I blow up the enemy Scion with Parlay, then activate Ray's Morale and Shirelia's Reverie to give my team supreme positioning. With Annie and Vayne completely split off from the rest of my team, we take down Master Yi and Volibear. Because Gangplank takes on the role of carry, you should find pushing with a minion wave to be very powerful. I'm able to earn a lot of gold, pushing up the minion wave to the windmill and Fiddlesticks. Whenever he leaves the turret, I push in with Parlay and Grogsoak Blade. However, I don't want to dive the turret until I have minions to capture it, so I continue farming. Once they have started capturing the turret, I push in until I notice him channel Crowstorm. Once that ends, I can tank and out damage drain with Cannon Barrage and Parlay, killing him underneath the windmill and taking the capture. As we get into a teamfight around the windmill, I aim for the squishy targets on the enemy team. I Parlay Twisted Fate and remove Scurvy, his stun. Then I activate Yomu's Ghostblade and take him down almost immediately. Exhaust and Cannon Barrage help me make short work of Volibear as well, leaving just me and Fiddlesticks. Unfortunately, Fiddlesticks is guaranteed to win a fight against me due to his larger health pool. However, a combination of Parlay, my movement speed, and remove Scurvy allow me to waste his time until reinforcements show up. You can use Cannon Barrage to stop enemy captures. I drop it on Fiddlesticks, keeping the windmill neutralized. However, Pantheon and Volibear can easily capture it because I aimed it badly. Instead, aim it at the middle of the point so you can stop everyone. For runes, I take Armor Penetration Marks, Flat Armor Seals, Flat Magic Resist Glyphs, and Flat Attack Damage Quintessences. This build gives me significant early game damage output with Parlay in case I want to push around my lane opponent, while giving me decent resistances that synergize with bonus health, lifesteal, and remove Scurvy. My masteries are 2109, focusing on all physical damage increasing masteries on offense, while taking increased mana regeneration and neutral buff duration in utility. I take Exhaust and Teleport on Summoner's Rift, while subbing out Teleport for Surge on Dominion. In Classic, I open with a Regrowth Pendant and Health Potion, upgrading to Philosopher's Stone. I look to grab cooldown reduction through Ionian Boots of Lucidity and Brutalizer. I continue my build with Trinity Force and Shirelia's Reverie for even more damage, utility, and cooldown reduction. By the end of the game, I want to deal even more damage through Infinity Edge and Yomu's Ghostblade, and increase my durability with Guardian Angel or Banshee's Veil. In Dominion, I look for more durability and damage through basic attacks instead of Parlay. I open with Prospector's Blade and Boots of Speed. I rush for a lot of mobility through Berserker's Greaves and Yomu's Ghostblade. I flesh out my damage output further with Sanguine Blade and Infinity Edge. At this point, I'll need more durability, so I look for items like Frozen Mallet, Odin's Veil, and Atma's Impaler. Thanks for tuning in to the Gangplank Champion Spotlight. Please subscribe to the Riot Games YouTube channel above, and don't forget to thumbs us up just below the video. Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring Trundle, the Cursed Troll. Trundle is a tanky DPS champion, somewhat similar to Singed. He's also an extremely potent jungler and ganker, lending to a very powerful early game. Trundle's passive is Decompose. Whenever an enemy minion, monster, or champion dies, a percentage of its max health is converted into healing for Trundle. Now, let's introduce his active abilities. First comes Rabid Bite. Trundle lurches forward, biting his target. He deals physical damage and steals a portion of the target's attack damage for a few seconds. The cooldown is shorter than the duration, so you should be constantly beefing yourself up. Second is Contaminate. Trundle corrupts an area of the ground, and when he's on it, he moves and attacks faster, while also lowering the duration of crowd control effects like stuns and slows that affect him. His most signature ability is Pillar of Filth. Trundle creates an impassable pillar on the ground, which also slows nearby enemies, allowing you to block off passages or simply slow enemies for a chase or escape. Trundle's ultimate is Agony. Agony deals damage and lowers the target's armor and magic resist by a percentage which increases over time. Trundle also steals all those stats for himself while the buff is on. Trundle's abilities have quite a few subtleties to them, so let's check them out. Rabid Bite is a free attack that resets your attack timer and applies on-hit effects. Your best option is to activate the ability immediately after landing a normal attack, to increase your overall damage output. Also, the ability moves you forward slightly when it strikes, so it can be a good chasing tool too. When fighting against Trundle, remember that Contaminate is limited to just one area. Here, Ash kites me until I'm off Contaminate before smacking me in the face with Enchanted Crystal Arrow, meaning I take the stun's normal duration. Pillar of Filth has quite a few uses. Like Anivia's Crystallize, Pillar can block off small passageways, preventing enemies from escaping. Similarly, it can help your teammates land their skill shots. Here, Morgana can't quite reach Ash with Dark Binding, but by sending her backwards and slowing her with Pillar of Filth, Morgana makes an easy shot. If you have good aim, you can also use Pillar to save teammates. While Heimerdinger is being chased by the enemy Trundle, placing the Pillar directly between them will separate the two champions and block off the chase. Finally, when fighting an enemy Trundle directly, it's always best to cast Pillar of Filth after your opponent does. While he tries to block me off with his cast, I'm now able to completely pin him into the golem area with my own. Because Agony steals a percentage of the enemy's stats, your best bet is to target durable enemies like Malphite, Rammus, or any enemy champion stacking defensive items. Here, Agony allows me to initiate a teamfight on top of the tower, and get away alive. If you take Smite, you can use it to trigger Decompose by killing a minion or monster, which just might save you in a pinch. I play Trundle as a jungler. When playing a jungler, you should always stand somewhere to watch for your opponents before the monsters spawn. In this case, I stay at the brush, watching the main inlet from the purple team base, until around 1 minute 30 seconds, before running down. Start at the wolf camp, using Rabid Bite to kill just the big wolf. Run immediately after to the ancient golem camp, taking it down with Rabid Bite and Smite. If you're concerned about golem being stolen, remember that at level 1 versus golem, Smite deals exactly 547 damage. For runes, I take armor penetration marks, dodge seals, flat magic resist glyphs, and flat attack speed quintessences. My masteries are 1, 19, 10, taking improved Smite, as much damage mitigation as I can in defense, and improved Ghost with neutral buff duration and utility. I max out Rabid Bite as soon as possible, with Contaminate following, and leaving Pillar of Filth at 1 point. For items, I start with Cloth Armor and 5 health potions. Mercury Treads and Madrid's Razors are next. Your first big item should be Frozen Mallet. Afterwards, I like to take Guardian Angel, Banshee's Veil, Randuin's Omen, and Madrid's Blood Razor, in no particular order. Let's put this all together in a larger fight. Kennen is isolated, so I charge in with Contaminate and help kill him with Rabid Bite, but I save Pillar of Filth until I need it. The enemy Trundle charges in and I use Pillar of Filth when I know where he's running. Using Agony, I help kill him while surviving Karthus' damage output thanks to the heal on Decompose. Finally, using Frozen Mallet, we're able to chase down and kill Karthus. Overall, if you're looking for a damage dealer with some unique utility, look no farther than Trundle. And if you find a build that works better, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in to the Trundle Champion Spotlight. But don't think that you can
Defeat Trundle? Are you trolling?
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring Karma, the Enlightened One. Karma has two main builds, as either an AP burst caster or a support mage. She also uses a new secondary resource system called Mantra. Mantra replaces Karma's ultimate and is learned immediately upon spawning. Instead of learning an ultimate, her other three abilities all have 6 ranks instead of 5. When she activates Mantra, the next regular ability she casts will have a bonus effect. Mantra may only be used twice before recharging. Mantra charges recover faster with cooldown reduction. Karma's first ability is Heavenly Wave. Unmodified, it deals damage to all enemy targets in a cone. With Mantra activated first, Heavenly Wave also heals yourself and your teammates in the same area for a base amount plus a percentage of their missing health. Second is Spirit Bond. Spirit Bond tethers an ally or enemy to Karma. Karma gains movement speed while the target gains or loses movement speed if it's an ally or enemy respectively. Additionally, units who move through the tether also gain or lose movement speed. Enemies who pass through the tether also take damage. When amplified by Mantra, the movement speed haste or slow is doubled. Karma's third ability is Soul Shield. Target ally gains a shield blocking a flat amount of damage. With Mantra activated, enemies near your target take damage the instant you cast the shield. Finally, Karma's passive is Inner Flame. She gains bonus AP for being low on health. This can allow her to cast stronger shields or heals, deceiving her opponents with more durability than is expected. Karma's damage and utility is quite strong. As Udyr comes into the fray, I speed him up with Spirit Bond. After stunning, he walks past Katarina so she takes damage from it. Immediately, I use Mantra with Soul Shield followed by Heavenly Wave for some nice burst damage. Notice that I didn't use Mantra on Spirit Bond this time because I only have one charge available and I wanted to save it for Soul Shield. AP Karma has a ton of burst damage. At over 300 AP, I'm able to drop Vladimir pretty low with Heavenly Wave before slowing him down with Spirit Bond. As Udyr comes in to help, Mantra with Soul Shield nukes down Vladimir. Ability power makes Karma deceptively tanky. I take on my opponents 1-on-3 as I wait for my team to arrive. Heavenly Wave followed by Spirit Bond gives me some damage and the ability to kite. Seeing them all low, I run up for a Mantra charged Soul Shield. I toss another Heavenly Wave as Udyr comes in as they try to escape. I break Spirit Bond off of Udyr too quickly, which was a mistake, and as the battle comes to a close, another Mantra charged Soul Shield takes down Shen. Even with an AP build, Karma is a remarkable support. I Spirit Bond Corki, who is smart enough to walk past Vladimir, making the tether slow and damage him. The haste also allows him to chase and kill Gragas. Even though Shen gave Vladimir a shield, I'm able to cut him down using Heavenly Wave and a Mantran Soul Shield. As we push into their base, I keep Corki healthy with a Soul Shield. Heavenly Wave damages Shen and I tag Udyr with a Spirit Bond, allowing him to not only chase Shen, but nuke him with the tether as well. Because Karma can support herself while nuking the enemies, she's actually a very competent 1v1 champion. Here, Gangplank goes for our turret. I open with Heavenly Wave. Spirit Bond allows me to walk into range for a Mantran Soul Shield. Heavenly Wave cools down again, bringing him below 1/3 health, while Soul Shroud keeps me alive amidst his ultimate and Parlay. Karma may also play as a support. When teamed with someone like Garen, you want to take Spirit Bond first. Always remember to take Mantra with Spirit Bond. Right off the bat, Garen is hasted, Singed is slowed and taking damage, and if Garen hadn't walked out of range of Judgment, we probably could have had First Blood at level 1. While you can't target yourself with Spirit Bond, you can target minions. If you're heading back to lane alongside a minion wave, be sure to Spirit Bond one to get yourself back faster. Maxing Spirit Bond with support Karma is extremely potent. Early Soul Shields help keep me alive for a little, while a Mantran rank 4 Spirit Bond brings me to almost 500 movement speed. As Taric chases through, he catches a massive slow thanks to the tether. When Garen and I get back into the fight, I make a mistake. I could have Spirit Bonded Garen, which would have still slowed Mordekaiser but also damaged him and hasted Garen, possibly giving us a kill. Regardless, I'm still able to escape thanks to Soul Shield and the haste I can manage to get from Spirit Bond. Mixing Spirit Bond with Shirelia's Reverie allows you to pull off some funny moves. Taric is running away as fast as he can, but a Mantran Spirit Bond allows Garen to catch up. Shirelia's then helps Garen escape the tower since I mistakenly shielded Ezreal. AP Karma takes magic penetration marks, mana regeneration per level seals, AP per level glyphs, and flat AP quintessences. Support Karma takes magic penetration marks, armor per level seals, magic resist per level glyphs, and gold per 10 quintessences. While flat health or movement speed quintessences may be very helpful in the early levels, Karma's haste and shield should cover that weakness. In my opinion, finishing Soul Shroud or Shirelia's Reverie faster is much more important. For AP Karma, standard 9-0-21 caster masteries work well with Ghost and Flash. Support Karma goes 1-8-21, taking improved Exhaust and Heal for summoners, with Strength of Spirit, Meditation, and Greed as your main focus. For items, I start with a Doran's Ring. AP Karma grabs Ionian Boots of Lucidity and rushes Rabadon's Deathcap, followed by Void Staff, Deathfire Grasp, Banshee's Veil, and Zhonya's Hourglass. This build should give Karma a lot of burst damage, nearly maxed cooldown reduction, and good durability as well. Support Karma takes Mercury Treads, Shirelia's Reverie, Soul Shroud, Spirit Visage, and also takes Banshee's Veil with Zhonya's Hourglass. This build will max out your cooldown reduction as well as help your allies with auras. Finally, let's look at skill order. AP Karma maxes Heavenly Wave as soon as possible, taking Spirit Bond early while maxing Soul Shield soon after. Support Karma will get 1 point in all of her abilities quickly as well, but maxes Spirit Bond first, followed by Soul Shield and Heavenly Wave last.
Victory!
Thanks for tuning into the Karma Champion Spotlight. Please subscribe to our channel, and I hope you enjoy playing Karma. With her on your side,
Ionia shall prevail.